Hello everybody, Carl Keister here with ClearSurf Financial Education. So today I wanted to jump into what I call the 10 laws of wealth. And I figured this is a good time to put out a video. Looks like there's a pretty healthy snowstorm going up the East Coast, so maybe a lot of people will be inside today, and maybe this is one of the things you've been putting off for a while. Once you shovel the snow in the driveway, you may want to look at the finances, so why not? So let's get started. So what I'm going to say is the very first one I'm going to talk about is going to be budgeting. So first and foremost, I do have a course that I've created. You'll see links off to the side where I walk you through the actual budget that I use every month, and this helps me know exactly not just where the current expenses are for this month. I can look over the quarter, I can look year over year, because I keep it where I can just pull it up and look at year over year numbers, which is very helpful because honestly, if you have a larger expense coming up, say a life insurance policy, or if you're paying your car insurance every 6 months, something that's going to be a bigger expenditure on that budget, you want to know when that's coming up for planning purposes. It's going to help you out. So I definitely think that's first and foremost, start with a budget. When I see people that have trouble with finances, that usually is the first thing. They don't have a budget, they're just not familiar with using a budget. And there are a lot of free softwares out there right now, softwares that allow you to put your expenses in there. I personally like waiting until the end of the month because I can just go back, look at the checkbook, I can look at the credit cards, and I can pull each expenditure up line by line. So whatever works for you. It could be pen and paper. There are some people that they write down pen and paper expenditures. I did this a long time ago when I was still living home, saving money to buy a house. I literally wrote down what I spent every day for a month or two, and it really just honed in on where I was spending the money. So anyway, number one, law of wealth. The number one, laws of wealth, budgeting. Number two, pay yourself first. Now what I mean by that is, when you sit down every month and you pay utility bills and the mortgage and the rent, you want to have a category for investing or savings. Now, that could be 5%, 10%, whatever you can afford. Obviously, you want to take advantage of a 401k if you have it available to you at work. But if not, open up an IRA account for yourself and fund that automatically, just like any other bill that you would pay. You want to put money into that 401k or IRA, and it'll become routine. You won't even think of it anymore. You put $100, $200, whatever it is, put it in there and let it start growing. Number three is going to be use credit wisely. Now, what I mean by this is just because you have a $1,000 credit line or a $10,000 credit line doesn't mean you should use that credit line. I have other videos that I will point out so that I have talked about the hacks of credit card hacks. And in there I mentioned that if you get over 30% of your credit card limit, it starts pulling down your credit score. So just so that credit's available, don't use it, especially above 30%. If you want to make a larger purchase or it's a seasonal purchase, save the money for it so that whenever the bill comes due, you can pay for it, not pay any interest. You still get the points, but you're not going to pay any interest for that. Number four is do not try to keep up with the Joneses, or in this case, keep up with the neighbors. We live in South Florida, and in South Florida, I don't have to drive a mile or so until I can see a car that's worth more than our house. So, that just comes with the territory here in South Florida. We don't try to keep up with the Joneses, and I don't recommend you do either. So don't watch everyone else's social feed and see what they're doing, what they're driving, what they're wearing. It really doesn't matter. You need to set your budget, set your goals, and if you achieve your budget and your goals, you're going to be in a much better position when you get to that, whatever that goal is, whether it's saving for a car, saving for education, saving for a house or vacation, whatever it is. You're going to feel a lot more accomplished when you hit that goal and you make it happen by not watching other people. Number five, invest. You want to put your money to work. So you can't time the market. I learned this the hard way years ago. Option trading is very difficult. It's all about timing. You need the timing to work for you. I recommend just investing for the long haul. I've always told my clients, don't watch the current quarter. You want to pay attention because you want to adjust things every couple quarters. If technology gets to be too heavy position of your portfolio, then you want to adjust that, because right now small caps are rising And you also want to have some alternatives in there. I mentioned a couple of videos ago, which I will show the links here to the Bitcoin video I did, Bitcoin Breakout. Bitcoin actually is up $1,700 this morning as I looked at it, which is 8%. This was after yesterday being up 14%, and that was a 7% move yesterday. So we've seen a Bitcoin move $3,000 in the last 2 days. This is a stock, or this is an alternative currency basically, that went from 3,500, as I mentioned in my other video, to 19.5, back to 3,500. Now we're hitting all-time highs again. Where it goes, nobody knows. This kind of speculation, you want to be very careful. Small position in your portfolio, whatever you can afford to lose, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so number 6 is going to be avoid debt. Now, we're all going to have debt at some point in time. We don't have money to buy a house. So mortgage debt is one thing. Even cars have gotten so expensive. Most people don't pay cash for cars. But you want to get the best rate you can possibly find, and you want to pay that car off as soon as possible. Mortgage debt is a little bit different because hopefully as property values increase over time, you'll get your money back over time, better than paying rent anyway. So, so avoid debt, at least avoid credit card debt and personal debt if you can do so. Number 7, invest in yourself. The best thing you can do is increase your knowledge. So whether that means so you can get a promotion at work, change careers, or even learn a skill or start a business. We've learned a lot during this pandemic, and a lot of people have lost jobs and lost hours. And I just read something the other day that showed that 17% of the population has started a side hustle just because of this pandemic and trying to find new ways to make money, especially if you're quarantined at home. So investing in yourself is also a great way to go about following these laws of wealth. Number 8, there are no get-rich-quick schemes. So whether you're investing, don't try to make a ton of money. Like I just mentioned, Bitcoin's up $3,000 in the last 2 days. If you're lucky enough to be in there, congratulations. But that's not something that generally that you're going to be able to time, because as I mentioned, these things can go down just as fast. Invest for the long haul, and if you start a business, think long term. Don't think short term. So customer satisfaction, make sure you have positive cash flow. Do whatever you need to do. And if it means growing the business a lot slower than you want to make sure it's financially stable, by all means, that's what you want to do. Number 9, trouble is opportunity. What do I mean by that? So anytime you have this much chaos, and like what's going on right now, there's going to be people out there that are going to be sick. There's going to be spouses that don't want to continue running a business that may have passed away. There's going to be people out there that want to sell a business, and you might have an opportunity to pick up a new business or a new line of work. With the stocks, you may see that in March when the market was down 38%, a lot of people were panicking. They were pulling back on the withdrawals they were putting into the 401k, when it's just the opposite. You want to keep that money going in or buy more, because as the stock's going down, you're buying more shares. So now that's fully recovered, those that stayed in there just systematically putting money in, or at least didn't touch it and just let it ride, you're going to be much better off for it. So that's what I mean by number 9, that trouble is opportunity. And number 10 is safeguard your growing fortune with diversification and insurance. So by that I mean, the larger your portfolio gets, the older you get, the more money you get accumulated, you want to make sure that you have diversification. So technology has been leading the way for the last year or two, and small cap has not been doing well, especially value stocks. They have not done well at all. So you want to make sure that you have that diversification, so that if your technology portion gets too high, you may want to draw that down a little bit and then maybe pick up some more value, small cap, mid cap, or even international. So just keep that in mind. You want to be diversified. So once again, if you found value in this, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll be putting out 1 to 2 of these videos per week, and I'd love to have you come on board. Share this with people that you think might also value this or learn from this, and the links are off to the side onto the course. So with that being said, I want everyone to have a good week, and stay focused, stay invested, don't go after the quick money, stay long-term, and I guess that's it. And for those of you that are shoveling snow up north, don't hurt yourself. Take your time, pace yourself, Okay, folks, take care. We'll see you on the next one.